Oh, gee. Hi, everyone. I read an article this afternoon about Anthony Mundine saying Australia's one of the most racist one of the most racist countries in the world, and that the flag and the national anthem should be changed. And I actually feel pretty degraded by this because Mundine, I see him as a real big racist who always aims at white people and puts them down, and is simplified by his comments against Danny Gill or whatever his first name is, saying about him that he can't wear the Aboriginal flag on his shorts because he has a white wife and white kids. Now that is really extremely racist, not just to put someone down from your own culture, but also to degrade them and publicly humiliate them. Like, that is just really poor form from Mundine. Mundine, I feel, is just an absolute hypocrite about this by saying this about Indigenous people. He is just putting them down once again. He is a big hypocrite here because he always says about Aboriginal people, but because of this, how they get downgraded, he thinks because of this. What was it? Sorry, I'm a bit tired at the moment. Haven't really gone through this. Just wanted to put it on quickly. He's a big hypocrite because he always goes on about how Indigenous people cannot succeed because of that, and he always uses this as an excuse for everything. But he should look at all around the Aboriginal culture. There's hundreds of Aboriginal sportsmen and politicians that have succeeded to a really high degree. Not from crying foul or getting lucky, but working hard and achieving the goals they've had. Like for a start in rugby league, Nathan Blacklock, great try scorer for the Dragons. Preston Campbell, also another great player, and Greg Inglis. Although I'm a Blues fan, so yeah, I got to be against him for playing for Queensland. But anyway, these are really great examples of players that have always knuckled down and achieved high in rugby league. Well, although I know Blacklock and Presto didn't play Origin, but I'll get to that later on. And just on the topic of that, like the whole racist New South Wales thing, which Anthony has said all the time, that is just complete and utter nonsense. For a start, in the last few years, we've had Greg Bird, Jamie Soward, and other darker coloured players playing for New South Wales, and this was after Anthony said that they didn't play, and Anthony would always go on that he didn't make rep teams because he was Indigenous. Like, this is just nonsense, and that was a nonsense claim from him. Laurie Daly and Brad Fittler were far better players than him. That was why he always got picked for New South Wales. They always got picked for the Blues instead of him. And Anthony, to say racism was a factor in selections, like, that is just bullshit. Anthony, you were picked 3 times to come off the bench in Origin, and that is just sensational. Anybody who plays Origin is gets judged a star of the highest level. Like, to play Origin footy is just an ultimate best rugby league competition ever. I still enjoy it. I'm never ever going to lose interest in it. Like, but anyway, I do know racism exists everywhere, but also with the Blues, that's just, as I say, that is just crazy. If you think the New South Wales selectors are racist, you just need to get your head read or just look through team selections. There's been 21. I think 21 Aboriginal players have represented the Blues in Origin, and if racism was any kind of factor, how come they have been picked? And also go back, look at the current team: Jared Hayne, Michael Jennings, Uwate, Tony Williams, and Greg Bird. Yes, he is Indigenous. They've all played, and if racism or skin colour was a factor, they would never have been thought of. And this brings me to my other point. You should be grateful for the land he has lived in. Like his father Tony, he had to achieve high when Aboriginals were completely put down by everybody, and never were given any kind of chances. Same thing. Tony always worked hard, and he reached to the top, and he's some of the most successful boxers in Australian history. And this was by going forward, and this was by never stop giving up on your dreams, and always believing in yourself and and achieving to the highest level, not by sucking up to everybody and claiming racism was why he never got a chance. And Anthony has now lived in chance where Aboriginals are more accepted here in society. Anthony now lives in a society where where it's fine for where Aboriginals are now well respected. Respected, but he just pisses it all away and acts like a fucking idiot all the time by saying, and still claiming racism's a big thing in Australia, well, which it is, but yeah, but to say that but to say here Aboriginals are still downgraded, he's just an idiot about all of that. And also, I find him a really racist person as well. He always describes white people as the whites, and he's just lumping them all into one group, and saying white people are doing this. White people are putting us down. White people are putting us down. White people are doing this and that. Like Anthony, they're always getting attacked by other people from other cultures as well. So it's not just the white people being racist, mate. All people, every culture has racist people. There's racist Aboriginals. There's racist Black Americans. There's racism everywhere in the world. Like unfortunately, I don't think it will ever go away. Everybody gets downgraded at some point or another, by someone. And just to sum this all up, Anthony is very ungrateful here, saying all of this, and he should feel very ashamed to not only put down a fellow Aboriginal brother by saying he shouldn't wear the Aboriginal flag on his shorts because he has a white wife and white kids. That is just some of the most disgraceful comments I've heard. He should really look himself into the mirror very, very hard about that. And he is just a clown with a plank on his shoulder. Do not listen to anything he has to say. He just wants publicity for his next fight. I know this wasn't really good, and I didn't plan it out. I just saw him, wanted to rush in quickly when on the day it happened. But anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Have a good night. See ya.